Mom called him the Kenya guy.
Okay.
All right, so I didn't play the intro. I'm sorry if you're watching this back after the fact. I really apologize. I have no idea why our internet keeps doing this. It cuts out just brief enough, like a flicker of electricity, and it's enough to cut off my streaming. Where Leah's a little bit confused about why it's just cutting off the streaming and not, because when you are loading a video, it already knows what it's going to play. So like I could be outside and connected to Wi-Fi and be streaming my audio Bible and be completely out of, I'm looking at my phone, I have 0 Wi-Fi, and it'll finish to the end of the chapter because it's already loaded. So, but it's enough for it to cut off the live streaming. So I apologize. We are back with Facebook. We are back with YouTube, and it will upload as 2 separate videos, and there's nothing I can do about it, and it really bothers me. Sorry, guys. This actually pretty much just started happening when we started live streaming back with Mass Faith 3, but it has nothing to do with my program or YouTube because I'm literally losing internet connection like a flicker because it'll tell me you're not connected.
Maybe YouTube is disconnected.
It's a conspiracy.
So, I'm sorry, guys. Back to Kanye.
I don't know how much you missed.
I don't know how much you missed. I'm so sorry. Technical difficulties are really frustrating. This is a good video.
I just love Trump. That's my boy. Like, it's like so many rappers. You look at a video of Snoop Dogg loving Trump, but then he get in the office and now they don't love him. Like, Trump is one of rap's favorite people, right?
But we talked about this, that before he was elected president, people in hip hop, it was an in thing to put Donald Trump in your rhyme somewhere.
And by the way, I am in hip hop, but I'm not just in hip hop. I'm a black person in the black community, but I'm not just that. I feel like one thing is people try to minimize me to artists, hip hop, black community. Yeah, I'm always what the possibilities of a new peaceful planet. We're at the beginning of it. You saw the North Korea, but people denounce that. And you say, you said this thing, you put this whole thing. People love to say all, every, blah, blah, blah. It's not that. It's 100 sides to every story. So if you talk about Trump, yeah, there's a laundry list of things that I don't have in front of me that my friends will text me or write me emails and say, he did this. Some of them Obama did too, but it wasn't, it's loud and say, wow, the room is quiet in here. The room is quiet now. So
you have their attention.
Okay. And then there's positive things, right? And that never comes out. That's when they refer to fake news because it can be skewed and stuff. It's like the media and the liberals and the echo chamber and all that is having the most sore loss of all time. Like that, we're going to just keep putting out. It's like torture porn. We're going to keep showing you negative, when these are human beings. Even like with George Bush, people said, don't apologize. I'm like, wait a second. I just saw George Bush pushing George Bush Sr. in a wheelchair, and he just lost his wife. Do you know how bad I would want to go to George Bush and say, I'm sorry for hurting you. I was an artist. I was hurting when I went up to the telethon. I said something in the moment, but when I look at you as a dad and a family member, I'm sorry for hurting you. Think about Obama. Obama was the opioid to our pain. He pacified us, but he pissed the Nazis off even more. Hold on, bro. I'm on a wave right here.
Okay, all right.
You talk every day.
All right.
This is with the love. Give me a hug. I don't mean, but come on.
It's all good.
Let genius be free. So we're going to go and talk. I want to talk to the guys in Charlottesville on both sides. On both sides. Do you know what Obama would say? He'd be like, man, if you're this, blah, 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 I'm not a white supremacist. I don't support white supremacy. By the way, white supremacy is a redundant statement in America. Whites are supreme in America. That's what we taught. I went home and my mom and my dad, wow, they're all one. My wife said to my daughter, tell daddy what you learned in school. And she said, I learned that mama's white and I'm black. I said, damn, I wish I got the heads up. They said, no, we had to tell her because of Martin Luther King's birthday. But a white teacher told her that. So what does it mean to be black in America if a white teacher tells her that she's black? You might be Kanye West's daughter, but you black. My daughter was free. We start putting these ideals on people. That's why we are in a simulation. When you're 3 years old, 2 years old, you go and you hop up on a coffee table, and then your auntie that you don't really like comes to you and says, don't jump on that while you're playing. It's a coffee table. Now you're 3 years old. You don't care about coffee or a table. This went from being something that elevates you while you're playing to something that is a distraction. I can't even find the exact word. Obstruction to your joy. Now, by the time you're 30, by the time you're 40, by the time you're 50, how many coffee tables do you have in your life that you're trying to make everyone happy? People need to start worrying about themselves. If I go and grab some water out the fridge and I'm in the studio, I'm not asking nobody if they want water. I'm not assuming. If you want water, you saw me grab the water. You go grab your own water. We need to start being worried about ourselves and stop being worried about what other people think. And we have the right to free thought. And guess what? No, this is not the Malcolm X movie. No black person is finna touch Kanye West. We got love. Nobody finna touch me. Nobody.
Okay, so
we're this to me said, you know, this is used to kill genius, right? So I didn't take it. 2 days later,
so then he goes on to talk about being stuck on opiates, but I want you to see this exchange with this other black guy.
Confused my stream of thought. Okay. I love you, but you can sit here. That's cool.
There's fact and real world, real life consequence behind everything that you just said.
Choice, just like when I said slavery is a choice. The reality, we can make our own reality. We can talk about history, but not too long. We need to talk about our now, because we can fix and start loving each other now. I say we have no enemies. We don't have enemies. Black people have a tendency to focus and march when a white person kills a black person or wears a hat. But when it's 700 kids being killed in Chicago, it's okay. It's okay for blacks to kill blacks. But if it's a white thing...
I don't think anybody's saying that's okay.
There's been more focus and more marches about whites killing blacks than kids in Chicago killing each other.
That's a lie. There are black people working...
There are no marches. 90% of black people being killed are killed by other blacks.
No, that's a fact.
The black homicide rate is a fact.
That is a fact.
Black on black crime is a fact.
But there are black people.
Okay, wait a second. Now this is a problem. We have to. You're too far. You have to be closer to me.
I'm here right now. There are black people working every single day.
Brother, don't scream because it will make us look crazy.
I don't care how we look in front of this.
Candace, come on over.
No, when you scream and you don't talk, it doesn't look right.
Let me just say something.
Actually, that was a beautiful moment.
That's really intelligent. I'm really okay. Michelle's gonna, in one moment of complimenting Kanye, that was.
He says,
good.
"Come over here.
Let's have a discussion.
Not scream across the room because
you don't look right."
Let me point this upon you.
Okay, this is a perfect example of what I'm talking about, because these are two different versions of somebody else's truth. This is two different versions of somebody else's truth. So he gets up and he's talking slavery, right? Okay, I'm not enslaved, so that I don't mean to insult his reality.
No, Kanye, come on over.
I don't mean to.
I just wanted to give him a hug.
right. Like I don't mean to.
No. I think he might want to fight me, but I want to give him a hug.
Okay,
Kanye.
Let's finish conversation. We gotta finish conversation.
I love you, and I want to give you a hug. I feel like you want to fight me right now, but I love you.
I don't fight with my fist, man. I've been through that. This is what I'm saying.
So if I come over there, you're not gonna fight me?
No, I'm not gonna hit Kanye West and TMZ. Bro, you gotta be responsible, man.
Bro, I'm sorry I hurt you.
You gotta be responsible, dog.
I'm sorry I hurt you, bro.
Your voice is too big.
I'm sorry I hurt you, bro. I love you, bro. I'm sorry I hurt you with my words, bro. I love you, bro. Bro, I didn't mean to say things that hurt you. I didn't mean to wear the hat out the blue and shock so many people and not give them a way out of the pain. I understand that gave him pain, that made him see pain. But guess what? When I went into the hospital. We're now in the hospital. TMZ is the hospital to fix the world. Obama was our opioids. It made us feel like everything was good.
That's not true, bro.
Yeah.
That's not true. Listen, first of all, calmly.
What's your name, though?
I'm Van.
I'm sorry for disappointing you, Van.
Yeah, listen.
Yeah.
Calmly.
Yeah.
What you said up there a second ago, the statistic about black on black violence is true. what they don't tell you is there are people dedicating their lives to working throughout the problems of black people. There are black people every day, boots on the ground. They're all over the place that are working towards this. Like every single day, people are trying to fix this problem. The narrative that black people don't care about black lives until a white person takes them is false. That is not true. But the problem is the people that are doing this work in communities every day, guys all over the place, they don't get the type of...
So then they TMZ finally has to shut the guy up because, like, who is he? And they take a break. Well, those are the moments that I wanted to show you from this incredibly awesome, crazy circus that I watched for 40 minutes.
Wow. I'm impressed.
It was highly entertaining. It went by fast. And my takeaways were that the black community is waking up and coming out of the slumber, coming out of their slavery. And Kanye West is helping to do that. And God often uses very unlikely characters like Nebuchadnezzar. Yeah. Not a good dude.
Yeah.
Kanye West is a god to the black community. And God has been trying to reach them for years. They go to church.
Right.
But like Mom was saying, it's the same thing as what Mom was... Most conservative libertarian pundits have been doing.
Gallery. It's weird when you say
Patriot
mom,
Gallery.
Like they know like she's their mom too.
Patriot Gallery was saying about Alex Jones is that we've got to get to the place where we have the power of God and we can change things.
Right.
And Kanye West tweeted out a scripture about love and changing things through love and loving the people that you're disagreeing with. Right. And you can only do that with the power of God. Because I disagree with this man. But if I see him, like Kanye is obviously doing in a weird way, I love you as a person. Now calm down. Okay? Calm down. If we want to talk about things, Kanye's saying, I'm not a bad person for saying this stuff. I'm sorry that you're hurt and you're offended by it. Okay? Right. This is what's called loving your neighbor. Doing good to those who despitefully use you and persecute you.
You know what?
This is cray-cray, but Kanye right here acted like a Christian, like Jesus.
And,
whoa.
I think that I am exemplifying this in the fact that we are covering Kanye, and I am swallowing my pride and my preconceived ideas about this young man and saying what he did here was correct. I'm not a fan. I'm still very skeptical about this entire situation, but I think I'm showing what you're trying to say.
Yeah, well, we do it every day. And this is what Ben Shapiro is missing with the whole, like, he'll reach out to Kanye West, right? But not to Alex Jones.
Right.
And we can disagree on things, but still love people who you can tell when people aren't truly evil. If people aren't like Hillary Clinton, I'm not going to sit down with her, right? Kanye might try to, but I ain't going to. The rest of the people, you can disagree with them, but love does conquer all. And so that's kind of it. That's what I wanted to show you guys. This is Kanye West tweeting things out today. We can, yes, it says he got hooked on opioids after liposuction. It's so weird. I can't believe this is a headline. I'm going to move on to Donald Trump's Nobel Peace Prize nomination. But I wanted to bring you this because so much truth is coming out right now. People are being red-pilled right and left. There is an awakening happening right now worldwide. And finally, the dam has broken. The water is rushing. And I'm hoping that Christians with the real gospel can see a Kanye or see anybody who is trying to speak the truth and pray for them so they come to the full knowledge of truth in the gospel of Jesus Christ. Yeah. I'm not betting my money on the church doing it, but like the random Christians out there who are just been seeking Jesus, they just love Jesus. The essence of Christianity is you love Jesus and you love your neighbor. Doesn't mean you go to church all the time. Doesn't mean you take communion. Doesn't mean you do Hail Marys or things like that. Loving Jesus means you're not going to sin because you love him, and loving your neighbor means you're going to treat people with kindness and love and generosity. But you're also going to stand up for yourself. So Candace did that too, and Kanye did that too. So, anyways, there is that.
Well done.
Well done. All right, so Donald Trump. So this is the time of the day where we sing a silly song. We go to Donald Trump's Twitter. That's from it's hilarious singing the silly song. So we have to go through. We don't have to. We get to. We're going to go through a few of Donald Trump's tweets because
they're always good for a laugh.
Headline: Kim prepared to cede nuclear weapons if U.S. pledges not to invade. From the failing New York Times. Also will shut down nuclear tests in May. If you didn't see if you didn't see the White House Correspondents' Dinner with the crazy Michelle Wolf, who just demonized Sarah Sanders and just. It was disgusting.
It was horrible.
But he tweeted out, the White House Correspondents' Dinner is dead as we know it. This was a total disaster and an embarrassment to our great country and all that it stands for. Fake news is alive and well and beautifully represented on Saturday night. I'm not going to play anything that she said. She made a horrible joke about abortion. She said, oh, let's talk about abortion randomly because that's what she wanted to do. When it comes to abortion, don't knock it till you try it. And when you knock it hard. Get that baby out of there. And laughing about it. How do you laugh about that? It's just so weird. But I suggest that every White House Correspondents' Dinner hires a comedian who literally hates the sitting president. So if we have a Democrat, hire somebody who hates and reviles that person and then just totally trashes them and makes fun of their whole administration.
Wow.
Don't you think so?
Yeah, well, just to make it fair.
Just to make it fair. So I think Friday we're going to cover this a little bit more because there's 3 things I want to cover tonight. There's that migrant caravan has reached the border. Millie Weaver's there interviewing people, so I'm going to cover that a little bit more on Friday. But Donald Trump tweeted out, the migrant caravan is openly defying our border. It shows how weak and ineffective U.S. immigration laws are. They were literally climbing the fence. Yet Democrats like John Tester continue to support the open borders agenda. Tester even voted to protect sanctuary cities. We need lawmakers who will put America first. And I guess he's gotten into this Twitter battle with this John Tester who... there's this guy
Trump's in a Twitter battle?
Yeah, well, not in a Twitter battle, but he's been going against this guy on Twitter.
Okay.
Because he's a Democrat from Montana, and he brought forth some salacious accusations against a man that Donald Trump had wanted to be the head of the VA, I believe. Oh, I'm going to mess it up. His name is Jackson. He's Donald Trump's doctor. He was Obama's doctor, Bush's doctor.
Right.
And it just totally
So Chris Holman
news.
says that particular comedian was convicted of bestiality.
Nuh-uh.
He says no joke. I can't confirm that, but
okay.
You know what? We'll take your word for it because somebody that could say something like that is
crazy.
Crazy
the fake
indeed.
news is going crazy, making up false stories and using only unnamed sources who don't exist. They are totally unhinged, and the great success of this administration is making them do and say things that even they can't believe they are saying. Truly bad people. He says the White House is running very smoothly despite phony witch hunts, etc. There's great energy and unending stamina. Both necessary to get things done. We are accomplishing the unthinkable and setting positive records while doing so. Fake news is going bonkers. He's talking about rumors of John Kelly calling him stupid and things like that. He goes on to say, so disgraceful that the questions concerning the Russia witch hunt were leaked to the media. Mueller wants Donald Trump to answer some questions, and there's he might actually try to subpoena him, which would be really bad for Trump. And so he might have to invoke executive privilege. So weird. He says no questions on collusion. The really bad questions like why do you still go after Comey on Twitter? What? I see. You have a made up phony crime collusion that never existed, and an investigation begun with illegally leaked classified information. Nice. Then later on, he goes on to. you guys didn't know, Southwest Airlines had some issues. A woman died. The engine broke out and hit the glass, and I guess the pilot and everybody was really good about landing the airplane. Well, today, randomly, they had to make an emergency stop because a window just cracked and opened. Like, I'm not going on Southwest. Like, they need some new airplanes.
So what you're saying is this is 2 times now.
Yeah.
Where their windows are cracking.
It's pretty bad.
You know what? How about we just don't fly at all?
Yeah. The questions are an intrusion into the president's Article 2 powers and under the Constitution to fire any executive branch employee. What the president was thinking is an outrageous as to the president's unfettered power to fire anyone. And that's from Joe Genova, U.S. Attorney. New book, a must read, The Russian Hoax, the illicit scheme to clear Hillary Clinton and frame Donald Trump by the brilliant Fox News legal analyst Greg Jarrett. He goes on to say, a rigged system. They don't want to turn over documents to Congress. What are they afraid of? Why so much redacting? Why such unequal justice? At some point, I will have no choice but to use the powers granted the presidency and get involved. And so everybody's going crazy because he would like to have this information from the DOJ that Congress is requesting given to them, and the DOJ is stonewalling Congress. So he says, this isn't a game. You are screwing with the work of the President of the United States, John Dowd, March 2018, with North Korea, China, and the Middle East, and so much more. There is not much time to be thinking about this, especially since there was no Russian collusion. And the last one is, as everyone is aware, the past administration has long been asking for 3 hostages to be released from North Korea labor camp, but to no avail. Stay tuned. And that's the Boy Scout article. That's not the article. That's not it. Of course, I'm going to keep going through. All right, so we're going to get the Nobel Peace Prize, but get this. North Korea has released 3 American prisoners.
Wow.
On North Korea during his swearing in today as the 70th Secretary of State. The rogue regime reportedly agreeing to release these 3 Americans who have been held captive in a North Korean labor camp. Kim Dong-chul, Kim Sang-duk, and who's also known as Tony Kim, and the third gentleman who is...
Not funny. Kim Sang-duk.
That's not his name.
Yeah. Duck, duck, duck. Okay, sometimes we make jokes. This is really... I'm horrified that they were in the labor camp. Duck,
wow,
duck,
that's kind of a cool name, though.
Yeah, Kim Sang-duk.
Kim Sang-duk.
I am really grateful for the being released.
Is known as Kim Hak-song. What is behind North Korean leader Kim Jong-un's sudden change in tune, and is this genuine? Here now, General Jack Keane, Fox News senior strategic analyst, chairman of the Institute for the Study of War. General, good to see you.
Good to see you.
This is something the president wanted as a precursor to this, to release these men.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Pompeo mentioned it when he met with Kim Jong-un, and just recently, our National Security Advisor, Ambassador Bolton, mentioned it publicly as a sign of good faith that Kim Jong-un is serious about these talks and about nuclearizing. So let's release these hostages before the talks. And he's doing it.
What do you make of his concessions? What's different now for Kim Jong-un? Is it that the world is different? Are there different pressures on him within North Korea than existed in the prior generations?
Yeah, I think, well, 2 things have happened. One is certainly his acceleration of his nuclear program and weaponizing them on ICBMs, and the speed at which he did that drew the world's attention. And of course, we transitioned from strategic patience on the Obama administration, which was actually a concession to him, to the Trump administration. They saw the imminent danger of all of that and said this is unacceptable to the security of the American people, and just moved right on it, maximum pressure economically, and also putting a military option on the table. And I think the president, the fact that he would never let up on discussing the military option, something that his predecessor avoided doing painstakingly, kept this pressure on him. And I mean, my sources told me they shut down the revenue about 80% before we started blocking the North Korean ports with our Navy ships. So there is some impact, but they've let their people suffer in the past and just sort of got it up and went on anyway and still manipulated us.
It feels like for some reason that's not working for him anymore. That maybe there is.
So, does Donald Trump deserve a Nobel Peace Prize? Well, some GOP. I'm going to bring up my article. Which one?
So the thing about the Nobel
Got
Peace
it.
Prize is it's not what it used to be.
No, it's not.
And so it's not something that we should be super excited about. It would be
Right.
rather interesting if they gave it to Trump. I don't
Right.
think that they will.
The lawmakers sent a formal letter to the Norwegian Nobel Committee on Wednesday, nominating him for his work to create peace in the Korean Peninsula. We, the undersigned members of the U.S. States Congress, respectfully nominate President Donald J. Trump. Blah, blah, blah. Letter went on to say, since taking office, President Trump has worked tirelessly to apply maximum pressure on North Korea to end its illicit weapons program and to bring peace to the region. His administration successfully united the international community, including China, to impose one of the most successful international sanctions regimes in history. And so it was, I guess, Representative Luke Messer there. And a lot of people are talking about it. And before he was actually nominated, it was kind of in the news. Everybody was saying, well, you're going to have to give him a Nobel Peace Prize now. Even, there was a kind of a funny clip here, if I can find it, where actually, you guys know Dana Carvey? He actually said, you got to give him the Nobel Prize now, don't you? It's kind of a funny clip.
Our president, President Trump, he comes up a lot on these shows, but I have to ask you, he has had a difficult.
That was the one. He's been all over the place. There was another one. He was with.
I cannot stand Dana Harvey. I can't believe that that's where we're going with this.
I know, but it was really funny. Hang on. I don't think it was Conan. I think it was another guy. But maybe it was. Let's see. I don't know. Well, I don't want to play the wrong one because it might be really bad. I don't know. I don't want to play the one that I saw. I know that.
For those of you that don't know, so here's what happens when it comes to the Nobel Peace Prize. In September, invitation letters are sent out. The Nobel Committee sends out invitation letters to individuals qualified to nominate. Now, not everybody is qualified to nominate. You can't just, you cannot nominate people. To nominate members of national assemblies, governments, and international courts of law, university chancellors, professors of social science, history, philosophy, law, and theology, leaders of peace, research institutes, and institutes of foreign affairs. Previous Nobel Peace Prize laureates, I think that's how it's pronounced, laureates, how would you say that? Laureates.
Laureate. Yeah, laureate.
Board members of organizations that have received the Nobel Peace Prize, present and past members of the Norwegian Nobel Committee, and former advisors of the Norwegian Nobel Institute. Then February is the deadline for submission. So I think it's not until October that the laureates are chosen. So it says at the beginning of October, the Nobel Committee chooses the Nobel Peace Prize laureates through a majority vote. The decision is final and without appeal. The names of the Nobel Peace Prize laureates are then announced. So just so you know, this isn't something like.
I don't know. Maybe instead of that one, I will play a little piece of this. It has gone all over Twitter. It's a little bit odd to me. I'm not a Gangnam Style fan. Other people are.
No.
But it literally has gone all over Twitter.
I feel like this is about to hurt my head. I'm preparing for head hurt. Yeah. Gangnam Style. Yep.
So it was to celebrate Trump and the North Korean peace process. I can't.
You might as well step aside so they can see it.
Yeah, it's a thing. That's the South Korean guy.
Oppan Gangnam Style.
You can watch the rest of that yourself.
You can.
I can't, but it actually, a lot of people are enjoying this right now. So I wanted to let you know.
You can enjoy it too.
That it's a thing. That it's a thing. So there's a lot of things. You know what? I'm going to give you some headlines we might cover on Friday because I want to go to the Boy Scouts here in a second. James O'Keefe calls out New Jersey Teachers Union President Dr. Perry to his face about cover-up of child abuse in school videos. I watched this video. He went undercover, and this I guess it was the this guy, Hamilton Township Education Association President David Perry, details the steps the teachers union would take to protect a teacher who physically abused and threatened kids, and he got that on tape. Texas teen Mateen Azizi Yaran arrested for ISIS-inspired plot to shoot up a Dallas mall during Holy Ramadan. And so that's something that we didn't see happening. That probably could have happened. The student was arrested on suspicion of making an ISIS-inspired plan to commit a mass shooting at Frisco's Stonebriar Center Mall. He's 17 and faces charges of making a terrorist threat and criminal solicitation of capital murder of a Texas peace officer. So we'll see how that goes. I'm pretty excited about that. Thank God it didn't happen. Hillary identifying as a capitalist probably hurt her in the primary, she says, because many Democrats are socialists.
Do you have to?
You may be the
So you're gonna repeat
only
all this on
presidential
Friday?
candidate since World War II that actually
Okay.
had to stand up and say, I am a capitalist. And you did. Did it hurt you?
Probably. I mean, you know, it's hard. It's hard to know, but I mean, if you're in the Iowa caucuses and 41% of Democrats are socialists or self-described socialists, and I'm asked, "Are you a capitalist?" and I say yes, but with appropriate regulation and appropriate accountability, you know, that probably gets lost in the oh my gosh, she's a capitalist.
I mean,
It's hilarious.
You know, she actually looks really good for herself. For whatever that is, I think they must be giving her like, life juice or something. I don't know.
So Gateway Pundit has been hit hard, and they're like one of the conservatives who are coming out. Go ahead.
Heather says, no, her being super unlikable is the reason that she lost.
Yeah.
If you guys aren't subscribed to Goin' Batty, they have an
many
amazing
reasons.
channel. It's GOINBATTY. 2 words. Goin' Batty. Fantastic channel.
I have
Good
two
friends of ours.
articles on, yes, they're awesome, by the way. My brain is thinking, thank you, Heather. Thank you for being here. Heather and Kevin are incredibly entertaining to watch together, by the way, and their kids are awesome, too. So I have two articles on Facebook censorship here, which is very interesting because Zero Hedge has an article saying that they did hire this conservative guy because they were censoring Diamond and Silk to investigate, maybe are we censoring conservatives? Yes, you are. I've seen it all over the place. But since the 2016 election, Facebook has been cracking down on conservative and pro-Trump content. Nigel Farage tweeted this out that Facebook is going to be being preferential to trusted news sources, meaning anybody who is obviously right of Stalin is going to be censored. Anybody, if you're not New York Times, ABC, NBC, you're not a trusted mainstream source. And Nigel tweeted out and said, this should scare you. And then I was really surprised at the trolls that Nigel has. Not only should scare you, you go on Alex Jones, you're this, you're that. I was just so weird. I was like, Nigel, wow, people have no life than to go on people's pages that they don't like. So weird. But anyways, I tweeted out that the powers that be, and you know this, were upset because Hillary lost the election, not because of Hillary lost, but because they lost.
Right.
People own her. People bought her already. She's a slave to them. She's already been bought.
She's a puppet.
Right? So they had to crack down. So in January 2017, Facebook began making algorithm changes to make sure conservative news was no longer so influential. The Gateway Pundit Facebook traffic has consistently decreased with each algorithm change. March 2018, study by the Outline organization found conservative publishers were hit the hardest by Facebook algorithm changes. The study showed that the Gateway Pundit was hit the hardest. In March 2018, Western Journal also published a study that found conservative publishers were hit the hardest by the recent Facebook algorithm changes. The report found that liberal publishers actually saw a 2% increase, and we've talked about this. Facebook official Campbell Brown, a former anchor on NBC and CNN, told attendees at a recent technology and publishing conference that Facebook would be censoring news publishers based on their own internal biases.
Wow.
And they did. Top conservative voices have been decimated since the 2016 election. So here's you've got this Facebook conservative blacklist, the Gateway Pundit. You can show how the Donald Trump Facebook page has gone down. The Young Conservatives look at their traffic. Look at the Young Conservatives traffic if you could see that chart there.
We're feeling it ourselves. I get it.
Alan
get it.
B. West. I saw him all the time in my feed. Now I don't see him at all. Look at him.
Which is really interesting to me that they censor these people from people that are already subscribed to them. Like, I could understand not allowing it to reach outside of people that want to be watching the content. But the fact that they're censoring it even from people that have subscribed to the or whatever, or you're following it and it's still not showing up.
Exactly. And then there's Western journalism there. Conservative Tribune is down. Independent Review is down. Breitbart. YouTube Conservative Blacklist. Natural News. Prairie University. Pamela Yeller. Robert Spencer. Right Side Broadcasting. InfoWars. Diamond and Silk. And Mike Dice.
And Resistance Chicks. But we added
but we're like at the bottom. Yeah. So, this right here is so stupid. Oh, wait. Second part of this. Facebook hires former Arizona Senator John Kyle to carry out political bias review. Now, this would be a little bit encouraging. So I wanted to bring you some encouraging news. We just saw negative news that possibly could be making a dent in that dam. After their appearance at congressional hearing last month, it seems pro-Trump bloggers Diamond and Silk helped conservatives cement a clear-cut concession in their long-running beef with Facebook. Axios reported Wednesday, Facebook is bringing in 2 outside advisors, one of whom will advise the company on potential bias against conservative voices to help ensure pro-Trump voices are never again mistakenly blocked or demonetized from the platform. Why it matters. The efforts are happening in response to the allegations that the tech giant censors conservative voices and discriminates against minority groups. Facebook hopes the independent audit and formal advising partnership will show it takes these issues very seriously. I can tell you that before 2016, Facebook took it seriously.
Yeah.
So I don't want to demonize Mark Zuckerberg. He has been sucked into the globalist agenda and made to change the algorithm. He's told them Facebook did not change the outcome of the election. And they said Facebook changed the outcome of the election because of the fake news it spread.
But now he's come back and said that they did.
Yeah.
He
really had to do that. Yeah, but what I'm saying that Facebook allowed everybody just to do their thing.
Sure.
Basically, 2016. It was Wild West. It was beautiful. I loved it. It was so exciting. The August of 2016, August, September, October of 2016 were like the most exciting time like ever, because you had lefties and righties and centers and libertarians and everybody sharing everything, and it was just so anti-Clinton. It was just a beautiful moment. It was just like heaven, like Care Bear stare, right?
She went Care Bear stare on you.
All right, so I guess this guy, Arizona Senator John Kyle, who has served as the minority whip under Mitch McConnell until his retirement in January 2013, he will examine the concerns about alleged liberal bias on Facebook internally and on services. So we'll see. Just hope that he sees it and he makes a big deal out of it, and we'll see. Now, here we go. How many of you have been to Boy Scouts? How many of you have been Girl Scouts? The Boy Scouts have been under fire for a while. We did a video at way back there in support of the Boy Scouts in their stance on homosexual leaders and boys in the Boy Scouts. Because if you're not set up for it, okay, I'm not saying, and I go back and forth on letting the boys in the homosexual. I think you can get real confused as a kid. However,
I think you should let the kids in. I don't think you should let the kids out. I don't think you should stop the kids.
But here's the thing. You wouldn't put boys and girls in a tent.
Exactly.
Right? So why would you put a homosexual boy in a tent with boys?
Right.
You don't do that. And I've actually heard, I mean, there is a stack of leaders molesting boys, and people are like, well, homosexuality doesn't mean those are pedophiles. They're homosexual pedophiles, right? And it just is a safe move to not have homosexual leaders. It's just a safe move, right? It's just a safe move because they don't usually allow women leaders, and they don't allow women leaders unless you're a mom.
Right.
Right? And so you'd obviously have to have different safeguards again for homosexual, you'd have to be a dad. And then you have to have separate bathrooms. I mean, I don't know. It's just a weird situation. It's for me. But the Boy Scouts march to inclusivity is over. And the Girl Scouts, quote unquote, aren't happy because 108 years ago, the Boy Scouts started as this great organization to create fine, upstanding, hardworking, honorable young men. 108 years ago. The president has always been the head of the Boy Scouts. It's just been a beautiful moment. Nothing wrong with having a boys group where men and fathers train young men to be young men.
Why? And that's okay. That is the epitome of the answer for this entire thing. There is nothing wrong with having a group that is exclusive to a gender. If it is, especially if it is promoting independence, good moral values, life skills, things like that. Is there a dog down here? Because this thing.
No, she's right there. But they are now. They've allowed the homosexuals and homosexual leaders and all this. Now they're literally dropping boy from the name of their lead program, the Boy Scouts. They will still have Cub Scouts because I guess Cub is gender neutral. There will no longer be any more Boy Scouts. There's no more Boy Scouts. There's only Scouts.
So I was, I do all the setup, right? Leah obviously gets most of the stories together. Not all of them, but most of the stories. And I asked her, I said, okay, so what do you want for the title? And she said, no, Boy Scouts, whatever I put in there, remove boy, drop boy. And I literally said, what? Huh? Like, it doesn't compute. This is insanity. We have reached a level that is, I don't know.
So they voted in October 2017 to allow girls to join, and starting in 2018. And then the program rebranded itself as Scouts BSA. We wanted to land on something that evokes the past, but also conveys the inclusive nature of the program. They allowed in their first 9-year-old transgender, so they're proud of themselves. We're trying to find the right way to say we're here for both young men and young women. That's not your deal. That's not your thing. That's not your shtick. Right? You can't make everything for everyone.
Right.
Okay? There are certain women who cater to black women's hair. They can do white people's hair. That's fine. A lot of white people can't do black people's hair. And that's okay if you cater to a specific group. It's okay to cater to a specific group. Bicyclist group. Hey, now we're going to allow in tennis people. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. Right?
I don't think it's exactly the same, because if the tennis people want to ride their bike, then
with the racket? No, but that's just the thing. It's just different. The girls can't be trained to be boys. And the idea of training the boys is to train them to be men. It's just a different program. There are other programs that
they're trying to take away the fact that the Boy Scouts do train young men to be men. Right. They're just trying to say they get to go camping, they get to do all the things so girls would want to do those things too.
Exactly. And here's the thing. If I'm a girl and I'm choosing between Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts, I'm joining the Boy Scouts. You want to know why? Because the Girl Scouts is as boring as a box of rocks.
It is. Really
I was in Girl Scouts from the time I was a brownie. I mean, I went through it. That was as young, there's Daisy is the youngest, right? We did nothing. I remember going to Girl Scout meetings, and we made paper airplanes once. We made some things.
In the defense of the Girl Scouts, it depends on your troop leader.
It does, very few. Like on the Facebook, you can look at the Facebook comments. We have people comment after comment after comment. I hated it. It was boring. And my brothers got to do this. We had I mean, the one woman tried to be a Girl Scout.
Hang on, though. Are you ready for this? Do you think it's maybe because the leaders are dads and the dads get together because they want to do cool stuff?
Exactly.
And that maybe women just aren't as creative in that area and as exciting and childlike?
There are some good moms out there who do want to do camping, but by and large,
I'm just saying there's a stereotype that it fits right in here. I'm just saying maybe the boys have more fun because dads are doing it and dads are cool.
And dads want to do fun things. Yeah. And dads want to go camping. Why do you
And moms want to do crafts.
Exactly. And moms want to sit there and sew. I'm sorry. I wanted to learn how to do knots. I should be proficient. As many years as I'm in the Girl Scouts, I should be proficient in knots.
I think I only know how to do one
do
other
them
knot
all.
besides
I've tried on my own to learn how to do stupid knots. I like to do cool knots. I want to know. I got a book on knots trying to do knots. I want to know them, but I can't. I don't know them. My Girl Scout leader, when I was in junior high, took all her cookie money, stole it.
Yeah.
Okay,
but that's not her gender. That's just because she was a fraud.
Well, it's a theme. It's a common theme with the stupid cookie money. I mean, what are they, like $5 a box, and they don't even make the cookies?
Hang on. So we're talking first of all, hold the phone.
I have to talk about my own personal experience. I'm bringing my own scarred childhood into this conversation. If I don't make it personal, then it's not going to hit home.
Talking about the Boy Scouts, man.
Well, we're talking about why girls might want to join the Boy Scouts. I don't think that they should. Okay, they actually have some gender.
There's other things besides scouts. I mean,
campfire or something.
Heather Going Batty had said that she's really proud. And I saw that picture. Jack's growing up so fast.
I saw it too. He's going so big.
Is in Boy Scouts, and she's really proud of him, and he's learning how to do a lot of great things. But she is disappointed in the Boy Scouts that they're making this move.
Yeah, they're making a lot of bad moves, and I, quite frankly, wouldn't trust my son to go on a camping trip with a homosexual leader.
No.
Because I wouldn't trust my son to go with a female that's not a mom. If he's, it's one of those things where, okay, if he's a dad, but you're not really a dad because you, that's...
I can do the politically incorrect thing if you can't. You guys need to understand that I don't have the exact statistics. I'm going to give you a roundabout. The amount of molestation that takes place, okay, that is, so homosexuals comprise of what, 3% of the population? Mm-hmm. And they are, that 3% of the population is committing something like 75% of male-on-male molestation.
No, well,
or just molestation in general. I don't know the exact stats, but I do know that is a fact. It is a fact. Y'all can fact check me on that. Go to the what's the website? The American Family.
Safe.
What's the family research?
Yeah.
Thing. That's where I always get my stats. I don't have them, but
I'm just saying. It doesn't
it
mean that you don't love homosexuals. Doesn't mean that you don't appreciate them and you can be friends with them and have them in your life and have them in your kids' lives and things like that. But to take you on camping trips and things like that, that's where kids are in vulnerable situations.
Right.
I've been in vulnerable situations with Girl Scout leaders, not in a weird, perverse way. Just they can be mean.
I'll take it even farther. If the Lord ever blesses me with children, my kids aren't going anywhere. They're staying in my house. They can be on. I'm serious. The world is a sick place. I'm not letting them out of my sight. I heard too many horror stories. I know too many people that.
But the Girl Scouts have actually said that they vocally oppose the gender inclusion, and don't want it. And it's so weird because
of course they don't want it because they're going to start losing Girl Scouts. Of course, I mean, duh, because the Girl Scouts is not fun.
Boy Scouts, by and large, they do cooler things. They have bigger jamborees. They have a literal, like right down the street, they have this giant camp. And it's just like acres and acres of fun. And they do fun things and they got a swimming pool and they do these things awesome and the Boy Scouts always got to do fun things and I'm not making a good case for girls not joining the Boy Scouts. I'm sorry, they're letting you in and you want to be a scout, go. But I don't think it's right.
They shouldn't drop. Here is the thing.
The Girl Scouts stink. They just really, really stink. They become this weird social justice warrior. They're not about God. On my honor, I will try to serve God and my country to help people at all times and live by the Girl Scout law. They took out serve God, by the way. You know how many times I said that? There's 3 fingers. You cross the bridge and you do all the things. On my honor, I will try to serve God and my country to help people at all times and to live by the Girl Scout law. And I read the books. Man, I read them religiously.
You did. I remember that.
I wanted to be the best that I could be.
That's
and it was so stupid. We had
always that way.
A dance badge. Oh. Come on. How about fillet of fish? We never went fishing. We never did anything cool. We never, ever, in any of my things, did we go camping. Now, we went to camp.
But I had friends that did because they had cool leaders.
You only had, that's one troop that you know of. So? One troop, one small little troop of 9 girls.
All right, so I want to hit 2 points here. So go back to the cookies with the Girl
cookies.
Scouts.
They used to actually
I meant
make
go back
the
and
cookies.
let me. I should have said let me go back. Let me go back to the cookies. I
rag on the Girl Scouts this whole time because
it used to be that they were selling. It was like a bake sale. Okay, that sort of thing. And so now we're charging $10 a box, and they keep shrinking the box size.
Like 2 cookies in there now, and they're not good.
They're not good anymore. They used to be better. All right, so that's point number 1. If they're going to be doing girly things, you ought to be just baking the cookies. A girly thing is baking cookies, not selling them. Okay, what are we raising? A bunch of salesmen?
Yes, they've turned these little cookie monsters.
It's like that movie with the redhead lady. What was her name?
Oh, that was a really good movie.
Funny movie. Now, hang on. One more thing. When I was a kid, I had a friend, a really good friend, who was a tomboy when it came to sports. And so she wanted to play on the boys' baseball team because she wanted to play baseball.
Right.
They made an exception. She played baseball. Not every girl wanted to do that because it was weird.
Right.
And they don't want to be involved in the boys' sports. Okay, you make an exception. There's a girl that wants to join the Boy Scouts. All right, you make the exception. You let her, into the Boy Scouts. It's not a big deal.
Exactly.
You don't have to change all of Boy Scouts from being Boy Scouts because then that makes it a gender issue. Right. Just make an allowance. Make an exception. When I was a kid, I was a cheerleader for Pee Wee football for years, and there was a girl that played Pee Wee football on the football team. And I wouldn't want to be her. I don't want to get slammed around. Girls' bodies are more fragile.
But you can make exceptions without changing the whole thing, right?
Exactly. It doesn't have to be this whole thing
logic is gone out the window.
Oh my gosh!
Because they do allow girls into the Boy Scouts. They always have.
I know. This is so ridiculous.
But now it's no longer Boy Scouts with the girl in here, a little bit. Here and there. Now it's just
that's depressing.
Social justice worrying.
I feel like I want to say is nothing sacred.
It's nothing sacred. Not even the
Boy Scouts are not sacred anymore. It's oh my gosh.
As a Girl Scout, we did
Troop Beverly Hills. Thank you, Aaron, our friend Aaron there.
Yeah, that was the best movie.
Thank you.
As a kid growing up. We did one interesting thing. We went to the Boy Scout as a troop. When I was really little, I had a leader who was trying to be a good leader. I think. We didn't do much. But she took us to the Boy Scout indoor jamboree, and all the little Boy Scout troops. You paid a quarter, and you did a little something made paper. And they taught me to make paper. So later on in life,
you made paper. And
I knew how to make paper.
It was really awesome
because these 6 little boys had their little paper making thing, and taught me how to make paper at 7 years old. It was that was a useful thing,
right?
And I would never forget that. And it was but Girl Scout, just so boring, just mind numbing. I'm sorry, I've been traumatized.
Thank you for being here for Leah's therapy session, where she needs to vent her latent childhood issues.
I have learned how to do all the different things that I, except for the knots, that I really wanted to do. And I'm just gonna
make up for that now.
We know,
you know what? Fire. We know how to do all of those things now. There's nothing in the Boy Scouts, I think, that we do not know.
You know what we did on our bike trip? We took a 3,000-mile bike trip, by the way. And we
don't tell you guys about that.
We went to a military surplus store to see for survival stuff, and they had in that store, interestingly enough, a whole section of Boy Scout handbooks.
Yeah.
If you need knowledge on something, get a Boy Scout handbook. Just don't tell people. Seriously, you can learn a lot from them. Mm-hmm. They're really well put together.
Yeah.
And they had a Boy Scout handbook on how to do a bicycling trip on how to bicycle properly and use it. And we learned it and we read it. We memorized it and we used the tips in it. You're allowed to
make a flying V in the road if you have to.
Right. You have 2 or 3, three, and we did when we were in. And it was so funny because we got pulled over by a cop because we were in a really busy rush hour time and the cars were like pushing us off the road. So we made our little flying V because our little Boy Scout handbook.
Somebody called the cops on us.
Called the cops. We got pulled over. I got my little hissy fit. Was a little not in walking in the Kanye West love, and I pulled out my little. We kept it with us. Pulled out my little Boy Scout handbook, and I'm like, I'm legally allowed to do this. Okay, and you know what? That police officer changed his tune, and you know what he did? He gave us an escort through town, baby. Know your stuff. Get a Boy Scout handbook.
I think that rounds us off for right now. I'm tired and I'm hungry.
We've got some bolognese sauce in there.
Horatio had messaged me and said that he had spaghetti bolognese at his parents' house. And I said, oh, we're going to have spaghetti because Leah had said spaghetti. And so she was like, hey, what is this bolognese? We've made it, I think, like once or twice before. But we went ahead and looked it up.
Our friend Ashley's mom made it. It's the best.
That's right. It is really, really delicious. And it's just sitting on the stove waiting for me, calling me, Masha.
All right, guys. Thank you for being here. Friday, 6 o'clock. Be there, be square. Sundays at 1. We got a P.O. Box 107.
That was really poorly done, wasn't it?
Milford, Ohio 45150. Please like and comment and subscribe. Leave your comments afterward. Share this on your social media.
That was really well done.
Even though the video got messed up, we're sorry and we're going to work on it.
I don't know what I'm going to do.
Look, we're going live. It hasn't stopped for an hour now.
I know. I don't know what I'm going to do. Heather says, we have the art, game making, and fire safety handbooks. You are right. They are very informative. Maia keeps dropping the link to our website in the chat. I haven't had a chance to do any news stories or anything like that. We've been really, 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 really busy.
It's fun to have like www.resistancechicks.com. It's really cool.
It is really fun
to have
that.
Jay.
Thank you, Jay, for helping me with this. We've been working on it tirelessly. So
look at that.
There it is.
Look at that.
Look at it. So we will see you Friday. We have some mail that came.
Maia sent a package. Barry sent a package. Bill,
where did Barry's?
We did Barry's. Bill sent a package. So we're going to do that on Friday because Friday is
Royal
our time.
Rangers. That's the other one you were thinking of.
The Christian thing with the boys and the girls. Fun. And they're set up for that. So yeah.
Friday's going to be a good show. We want to see you with us. We love you.
God loves you.
God bless. And remember, it is not just a
conspiracy theory if it's the truth.
All right. Okay, also, another thing I wanted to address.
It's so hilarious because
I don't look at us the whole time, right? So I have the software, and I switch back and I see what you're seeing. Thank you, Kelly, for this tripod. Up until today, it's been fantastic. Nothing has changed. But for some reason, I spent about 10 minutes trying to get this thing so that it was level and center and like squared off. And it's just not. And I'm not OCD, but it is not right. And so I'm really sorry about that, guys. I did the best I could.
You're going to watch like this?
A little bit. Or like, I don't know. All right. Good night, guys.
See you later, alligator.
I was cold all alone. No place